So just come into lay down on your mat. If you just join Caroline, just laying down on your back. And you can have your legs either out long or feet on the floor, knees bent. And take your time to just feel into your breath as it is naturally. Notice if any parts of the body, through the belly, the ribs, the chest, even in the back of your body, is holding, resisting the breath. And each exhalation, allow a real softening. So you're not clenching, you're not holding. You can let all of your body weight drop into the support of the earth. And it may even feel nice to really let the breath out with a sigh. So and let the day go. Let the tension go in your body. Let the holding, any restriction. And now slowly draw your attention into the center of your chest and fill into that space there. Again, this month we're working through Anahata, so the heart chakra, to really bring a sense of vitality, nourishment to the body, sense of revitalization, moving out of the winter heaviness and bringing this lightness into the body, into the breath. So with your next inhalation, start to feel your rib cage really widen and open, and the center of the heart space open and all the way to the upper chest. And then as you exhale, draw the navel back to the spine and let the breath sink back down. So rib cage and upper chest softens towards the navel. And again, inhale into the heart center. So you're really expanding all the way around the center of your chest. And as you exhale, focus on pulling the navel back to the spine. And we're just going to add on to that. So visualizing as you inhale, a bright, vibrant light, it can be a color, in the center of your heart. Really glow it bright and expand it out as you inhale the breath, directly in the center of your chest. And then as you exhale, visualize any density, any heaviness, anything that's weighing you down, leaving out of the center of your heart. So right in the center of the chest can be like a beam of dark energy moving out. It could be like a smoke moving out the center of the heart. But as you inhale, vibrant, bright light, expanding through the whole of the chest, the torso of each breath in, pulling more and more of that gold, that light in. And each exhalation, you're pushing from the center of the heart outward. Can be the front of the chest, can be the back of the heart, anything heavy, any density in your body. Just releasing and shedding with each exhalation. So this is a cleansing Reiki breath that we use to help release anything heavy in the body. And when we target it in specific parts of the body, we're working in certain energetic fields. So just clearing any density from the heart, from the emotions, anything that's weighing heavy on you. And anything that you want to really clear to bring to light. Anything that you're kind of hiding behind, clear that out too. Just take another 5 or 6 more rounds of breath. Just take your time. Focus in the center of the heart, center of the chest, the spiritual heart. Nice, last couple rounds of breath here. And then allow your breath to return to a completely effortless, spontaneous breath. No need to change, to force the breath at all. And just feel into the center of the heart. Notice if anything shifted or changed. Nice. And then from here, we're taking a nice lateral whole side body stretch. And we'll start from a nice opening down the right side. So if you take your left leg over to the left side of your mat, and just take it as far over to the left as you can. And really stretch that leg away from you, having the legs out long. And then you can either bring the ankle next to the ankle or cross the right ankle over the top of the left. And then take the arms up over the head, grab hold of the right wrist with the left hand, have a little bend into the elbows, and then gently pull with the left hand over. So you're really opening that whole right side of the body. And rest the arms down. So if they need to be slightly bent, please do, but if you can have the arm long and stretched, you get more maximum stretch. And make sure the hips and the shoulders are glued down. So both sides, hips and shoulders down on the mat. Just take a moment to let your body land in that side. And notice maybe if there's any more space you can create. Maybe pull the upper body a little more, or take the legs over a little bit more. Or maybe it's just the breath that is going to deepen the shape. So now feel the breath is still moving fully and deeply in your body. But it's naturally now going more to this right side. And just feel up the whole right side of your torso to begin with. So in the armpit, the rib cage, the waist, down into that right side hip. And see if there's any points that you're meeting a resistance. If there's any struggle in that side of the body. And see if you can send the breath into those points to just liberate and open a little bit more. Maybe even noticing down the right side of the arm, right side neck, and right side of the leg. Maybe even encouraging the head to gently turn to the left. Just here for another 30 seconds. Nice. So slowly and gently take your legs back through to center. And then taking your upper body back through center, and take your arms down just over to T shape, or just around shoulder height. Readjust through the body, through the legs, hips and shoulders. And take your attention still into that whole right side, and notice how that side of your body feels in comparison to your left. And then we can go to the opposite side. So taking your right leg all the way over to the right side of your mat, and then either crossing the ankle of the left on top, or just placing the ankles together. And taking the arms back up overhead, grabbing hold of the left wrist this time. And then give that arm a really good pull over with the right. And just placing down through the shoulders, through the arms, through the hips, and let yourself really drop into that side. Again, explore into the torso, and if there's any points of resistance, noticing how the breath feels, how the breath moves on that side. Maybe any difference on this side as compared to the right. This is where we house the physical heart. So just notice on that left side body if there's anything happening around the heart space. If there's any constriction, if there's any tension in the fascia, or if it does feel really, really open, really expanded already. Just notice, just witness. Maybe seeing if you can deepen into the stretch a little more for the last 30 seconds. And just taking a final breath here. And then gently guide your legs back through to center. And the upper body slowly back to center. And again, take a moment, just feel into that left side. Notice if it feels a little bit more balanced now. So it's so simple how we can revitalize our body more. So quick, literally just opening the body and breathing into that space liberates so much energy, and we can feel much more vibrant, much more full. Nice. So when you're ready to, just roll off to a side. You can hug your knees into the chest first. Give yourself a little hug and a squeeze. Maybe even a rock side to side. Take a couple of breaths there, and then when you're ready to, just coming over to your side. And slowly up to seated position. Nice. So you may want to grab hold of a seat, so maybe a bolster or some blocks, and just bring yourself up to a comfortable seat position. Nice. So from here we're going to move into either a cross-legged position or Siddhasana, whichever feels most comfortable. Or if you wanted to work a little bit more strongly through the hips as well, you can take shoelace. So this is going to have your underneath leg, so your left leg underneath and foot beside the hip, and then stacking the top knee on top. So that's optional if you want to take that, or otherwise just taking a comfortable seated position. And working a little bit more deeply into that lovely side opening, but also into the space around the chest, so into the armpit area. So if we take, I'm going to mirror you, take the right arm up and just place the hand behind either the nape of the neck, or if you can thread the hand a little bit lower down so it's coming more towards the back of the heart, and nestle your head. So you're just gently tipping your head forward, and then you can push your head into the forearm. If you need to use that left hand to gently pull in, do that. So you feel nice and supported there, and you can either stay there or taking that left hand round behind you all the way so you can interlace the hands and pull on a grip. So the fingertips lock together, and then you can pull in opposite directions. Top elbow goes up and the bottom elbow goes down, but you want to hug the elbows in towards the midline, in towards your spine. If you can't get the lock, then just stay with the top hand pressing the elbow down, just to start gently opening the tricep and the armpit. So really lift up into the crown of the head and open up the chest. So you'll feel all the way around the side of the chest is open, and you can feel all of the fascial and the skin pulling it around the side of the collarbone, into the tricep, and down into the armpit, and also into the lat, so in this side body here. And really breathe into all this lovely space that you've opened up here. And try not to collapse down, collapse in. As much as you can, relax the shoulder. So the shoulder blade is actually coming down and round. So it's wrapping around the rib cage, and it's almost lifting up to support. So the shoulder on top can soften down. There's no need to tense up around the muscle here. We want to soften it as much as possible and let the shoulder blade do the work for us. And then keep going back into the side of the chest and let your breath move into there. We're just here for about another minute, not too long. So find as much stillness as you can. And really allow yourself to listen. Be open to hearing what's going on in the part of the body that you're working in to open. If you want to increase the stretch, you can take a little bit of a gentle side bend over to your left to just increase that opening. That's just an option if you want to increase it. And you want to keep rotating the shoulder blade into the rib cage so you can gently open the chest more towards the ceiling. Just here for another 3 or 4 breaths. Feel space also at the back of your neck. So the back of the neck stays long, there's no scrunching in here. Just a final breath. And then if you took the side, then gently come back to center. If you took the bind, release the bottom hand first, gently take that off. And then you can lean forward slightly, take the top hand up and out to the side. If you took Gomukhasana, cow face with the legs, taking the underneath leg out first, you can lean back into the hands and then take the top leg off and straighten the legs out in front of you. Nice, just pause for a moment, feel into that right shoulder, notice how it's feeling. Maybe a little bit more energy moving in that space, maybe it feels a bit warmer. Nice, and then if you took cow face with the legs, take the right leg underneath and then the left leg over the top. And if you are feeling like you need to switch the cross of your legs, please do, if you're in a cross-leg position. And then taking your left hand all the way up, find the nape of the neck or back of the heart. And then you can use your right hand to gently ease the elbow in towards the midline and shuffle your head down so you can push back with the head. And then again, either leave the hand on the elbow or take that hand round, find the fingertips and pull actively in each direction the elbows. So bottom elbow goes down, top elbow lifts up. Relax the shoulder, soften the shoulder, find space at the back of your neck by gently tucking chin in. But push the head back, keep the heart space open and feel the shoulder blade gently pushing in towards the rib cage. So it's coming in and supporting the lift of the arm up. And then breathe into that lovely side open. All that space that's closed off throughout pretty much all of the day. Go in and feel all of the tissues opening as you breathe. We hold so much tension around our neck and shoulders, so if you can just invite gently those parts to soften And allow other body parts, the shoulder blade, to do the work instead of the neck doing the work all the time. You can really feel the body switching off this deep level of tension. What I certainly do anyway. Again, use the breath however feels good, but full deep breaths. Just here for about the last minute. So in a couple of breaths time, if you wanted to increase the stretch, you can take that side bend over towards your right. Just gently leaning over with the upper body, keeping that stretch going, the head pushing back, the elbows lifting in opposite directions. And you want to gently rotate the chest towards the ceiling without any struggle or strain, just very, very soft. Well done, just last couple of breaths. Nice, and then as you inhale, slowly come back up through to center and release the underneath leg first if you took Gomakasana, taking the top leg off, and then release the bottom arm first if you took the bind. Lean forward slightly, take the top arm out to the side and down, and just feel into that side now. If you need to make any rolls, shakes, movements, please do. Otherwise, just pause and feel into that side. Sweet, okay. So we're going to come over to an all fours position. Just take your time to come up. If you have anything going on in the knees, just bring a blanket underneath your knees. And you want to be more towards the back end of your mat. So just a few cat-cows to mobilize the spine and just move anything out of the neck and shoulders. So you can make these as expressive or as slow as you want. As you exhale, we want to tuck the tailbone under, draw navel back to the spine, really push the spine up to the ceiling and touching in towards the chest, lengthen the spine. And then as you inhale, lift the sit bones, let the pelvis tilt forward, the belly drop, the heart drop, but pull the head all the way up. So you're taking the gaze up towards the ceiling. So you're pulling the crown of the head and the tailbone in opposite directions. Just move in with your breath and really listen to your body. So if it feels that you need to pause and breathe, hold, wiggle into a certain point, please do. Allow your body to just guide you for a few moments here of what it needs to help just shift anything around the heart and the spine, around the shoulders, the arms, the chest. And keep your breath going, stay connected to your breath. Just the last couple of breaths in. And final breath. And come back to a neutral spine. Then just take your hands one step forward. Don't let your hips come forward with you. Keep the hips back as they are. And gently pull the crown of the head forward as you push back through the tailbone, through the sit bones. So you're really stretching the spine long and feel all of the waist start to open, feel the spine lengthening out, and the muscles, tissues around the back of the body starting to stretch in opposite directions. And then take again the hands just one step further forward. Tailbone pushes back, crown of the head pulls forward. Weight stays back into the toes, the shins, the knees. And feel that lovely stretch in the waist, a little bit more so in the chest. You want to feel that the chest is gently coming towards the floor. So you can take the hands another step forward. And just pause for a moment. Again, do that stretch where you're pushing the tailbone back and pulling the crown of the head forward. Pull the heart space a little bit more forward so you feel that stretch in the back of your heart in the shoulder blade area. So almost pushing your chest towards the floor whilst pushing back into your tailbone and pushing forward into the crown of your head. Take one final breath here. And as you exhale, gently lower the forehead down to the floor. Or if you have the space, drop the chest and the chin down to the floor. Whilst keeping that action of pushing back through the tailbone and pulling forward through the crown of the head and the heart. So you've got this lovely dual stretch going on. You're pulling the spine in completely opposite directions. And as you do that, it's keeping a level of strength in your body without you having to really work too hard to hold yourself there. If you are struggling or if it does feel a little bit too strong, you can always grab a bolster or some cushions and place them underneath your chest, underneath your forearms, underneath the belly. Pop yourself up as much as you need to, or take a bolster underneath your forehead and bring the floor higher up to you. We're here for about another minute. I want you to really feel the breath moving into the belly, into the heart, and all the way round the rib cage. So this lovely openness you just created, feel the breath expand and really open into those spaces without straining or forcing, but just it's naturally filling up into those points, maybe that you don't always feel the breath moving into. Nice, last few breaths here. Maybe seeing if you can just find tiny little stretches open more. Maybe there's a little bit more elasticity in the fascia, in the spine, in the joints. See if you can just send more breath into those points to keep that spaciousness open. Just tuning into what the body is speaking to you. Lovely, well done. Take a final round of breath here. And then just as slowly as you went into the pose, pad yourself up. So you're just lifting the head off of the floor and then slowly padding yourself back a couple of steps until you come all the way back to an all fours position. You can take the toes together, knees apart, and sink your hips back to come into child's pose. It might feel nice for you to take your hands to rest either onto your lower back or just beside your heels, and your forehead can either rest onto the floor. If you want to take a bolster to lay onto, you can just lift up and rest again onto the bolster. We're here for a little bit of time just to let the body ground, just to let the body assimilate. When we're working in the heart space, it's very strong to stimulate the body. We're taking more life in, more prana, more energy. We can feel quite a lot of energy pulsing through the body, but we want to keep it nice and grounded. So come back to a nice deep belly breath. I'm just reading a new book about Yin Yoga, and I found this really lovely page today. I just wanted to read out to you while you're resting here. So this is from Sarah Robinson. It's called Yin Magic, How to Be Still. The easeful, slow atmosphere and the attitude of acceptance present in Yin Yoga allows us to listen a little more deeply to the stories that are present in our lives and our relationships, and work towards releasing the stories that no longer serve us and the threads that bind us too tightly. With Yin Yoga, there is always time to listen to our own story, time to settle, to readjust, to start again from the beginning, time to explore, time to learn the appropriate depth in each posture, time to attend, to notice, and to make mindful choices to reside in the here and now. We can enjoy the gift of time that grows alongside stillness, precious time to get to know our own body, what it needs and where our edges are. Some edges are physical, but we can also learn to and honor emotional and psychological edges in the alchemy of our practice, becoming a watcher of which stories rise and which stories fade. We live in cultures that are constantly judging us. Are we good enough? Are we beautiful, smart, or wealthy enough? And we know that the body is paying attention to every message that it's receiving. Trying always to be better causes both physical and emotional stress. Yin Yoga offers us a space for acceptance. When we bring a different attitude, that of compassion, into our practice, our bodies respond in a very different way. We begin to accept ourselves. As we bring acceptance to our stories, our path of healing begins. So just take a final breath here. And then slowly come up to a seated position. So you can just sit back onto your heels, or you can take the legs around and out in front of you. And I want you to just grab hold of either a block or a bolster, and you may want a pillow as well, or a folded blanket. So we're moving into fish pose, which we don't often do, but it's a really lovely one to really open the throat and to open up around the heart space. So if you've got a bolster, grab it and just bring it widthways across your mat, and have a pillow handy, and then just bring your back to the bolster, and I want you to bring the bolster directly across the back of the heart. So I'll just show you this variation first. So you want to take your arms so they're over and in a T shape, and then the crown of your head is resting on the floor. You can have your feet either flat to the mat, which I prefer, or you can have them out in butterfly. If you're taking butterfly, you might want to bring a couple of bolsters, blocks underneath your knees to support. And just feel how that feels in your body to begin with. And if it's a little bit too strong, then grab something to pull the floor up higher. So a blanket or pillow. And if you don't have a bolster, you're working with a block, you can still do the same way. Taking the block widthways is a little bit stronger, so you might want to bring a blanket over the top. And you just gently rest that behind the back of the heart. Arms go out into a T shape, and you can bring the back of the head or back of the crown just to gently rest on the floor. So really allowing the breath to move into the heart space here. So you're practicing the same breath as you did in the beginning of the practice. So as you inhale, feel the center of the chest glow up with a light. And as you exhale, from the very center of the chest, shoot out any dark, heavy, dense energy, anything that you want to shed, anything that's weighing you down, causing a sluggishness in your body. anything that's really not inspiring you, not uplifting you, not invigorating you, allow that to leave with your exhalation. And try to really feel softness through the shoulders, through the arms. If that's too strong for anybody, or if you're struggling a little bit, you can always take the bolster lengthways. Take a block to the top of the bolster. And then rest your whole body on. So you're lifting your body up and onto the bolster, and either letting your head gently rest over the back of the bolster. You may not need a block. Just to increase the stretch. That's also an option if it feels a little bit too strong. So we're here for just another minute. Continue on with the Reiki breath into the heart. Really feel all that lovely energy clearing from around the heart center. Let's just take a final round of breath here. And then you can slowly begin to tuck your chin in towards chest again. Squeeze into the core, push into your feet, bring your hands down to support you so you can push into your hands and slowly roll yourself up to a comfortable seated position. You can just pause with your feet on the floor, knees bent. And it might feel nice to just gently hug the knees in and roll forward. Just resting your forehead down towards or onto your knees. And pause here for a moment, just feel into that. Nice, so slowly lift up and just shift any props out to the side. And then come to lay down onto your back. Hug your knees into the chest, give yourself a nice big squeeze. And we'll finish with just a very, very gentle, easy twist. So take your feet to the floor, knees bent, and have your feet as wide as your mat. Your arms can come out in line with your shoulders, or you can rest your arms up over the head in a cactus, so elbows bent, back to the hands, forearms resting on the floor. You can inhale here, and as you exhale, let your knees drop over to the left side. Just gently dropping down through the legs. Let all of the weight of the legs drop into the floor. And you can look across your right shoulder if that feels okay for your neck. Just pause here, just a few deep belly breaths. So your next inhalation, bring your head back through to center. And as you exhale, gently draw your knees back up to the center. Take an inhale to align the hips, the spine. And as you exhale, allow the knees to drop over to the right side. You can look over to your left shoulder. And just pause in here, really drop the weight of the legs. Nice deep belly breaths here. Let's take a final breath. And then slowly draw your head back to center and exhaling your knees back to center. So you can pause just with a final forward fold. You can either take very gentle, easy forward fold of Apanasana, drawing the knees into the chest, or if you wanted to work a little bit more strongly just for the last minute, you can bring your hands down beside your hips, keep your knees into the chest, and then use your legs. So swing your legs up and over your head, and bring your toes down to the floor so you're in snail. If you can't bring your feet down to the floor, just hold your lower back. It's a very deep stretch for the spine, nice forward fold to ground and calm, but it's also opening the back of the heart. If you have the space to and it feels nice to hold on to the calves, you can do that. Just a few breaths, 6 or 7 more breaths. Yes, and then let yourself slowly out of the shape. Use your hands as brakes on the floor if you took snail. Roll yourself all the way down, keeping your knees just gently hugged into the body. And then prepping yourself for Shavasana. So taking a bolster behind the back of your knees. Taking your legs out long, you might want to take a pillow or a folded blanket underneath the back of your head. And have your arms out to the side. So you've got a nice space down the side of your body. And you can feel the shoulder blades are really wide behind you. There's no tension through your neck, your shoulders. Maybe gently tuck chin in towards your chest. And have a space between your feet and just let your legs gently rest out softly. Let go. You might like to take an eye mask or turn the lights down. Again, just finishing here with the breath in the heart. So let your focus again come into the center of your chest. And as you inhale, draw in that bright light. It can be a color if that comes to your mind. And as you exhale, just pushing anything out of the center of the heart, front or back or both. Anything that's heavy, you can see it as a dark color. You may even see it as images, memories, situations, habits, thoughts, behaviors. Allow anything that's causing you a sluggishness, a heaviness, a weightiness, anything that's weighing you down, to just release out. So you're shedding it slowly with each exhalation and allowing the light of your heart to glow brighter and brighter each breath in. Just resting here. Just a few more moments. Just release the focus of the breath and let yourself rest completely effortlessly. Allow the breath to be very spontaneous and easeful. So just take a final round of breath here in this completely rested state. And then begin to gradually open the hands and feet, just stretching the fingers and toes out. And circling the wrists, the ankles, flexing, pointing. And you can give yourself a nice big stretch or a hug, whatever the body needs to just gently come back into some motion. Nice, and then we'll slowly just roll off to the side. Take a moment to pause on your side. And with your next inhalation, slowly push into the upper hand, and come up to a comfortable seat. If you can, keep your eyes closed, just finding any comfortable position. And this time we'll just finish with a very, very gentle breath work practice, just to really reinforce the work that we've done around the heart. So come into a very comfortable seat and really lengthen up your spine. Just relax the shoulders down, close down through the eyes, and start to draw your attention back into the heart space. So with your next exhalation, allow the breath to exhale completely and fully. And then inhale into the chest for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you exhale, push the navel back to the spine. The breath goes out for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, feel the chest expand. Inhale in for a count of 6. And as you exhale, focus on pushing the navel back to the spine and feel all of the chest decompress as you exhale for 6. And as you again inhale, feel the heart really open and expand, and you can draw that white light into the heart. But this time on your exhalation for 6, feel the rest of the body being flooded with the white light. So you inhale into the center of the chest with the white light, or whatever color that you see. And then as you exhale, you're flooding that light into the rest of the body. Keep the breath in and out for around 6. If you know roughly how long that feels in your body, you don't need to count. You can just focus on the light expanding from your heart space to the rest of your body. So slowly filtering out into the arms, the legs, the head, whole torso, flooding with this light. Just taking your time and watching it unfold. Just here for a few more minutes. Anytime your mind is drifting off, just gently guiding it back to breath, feeling the chest expand and open. So that lovely bright light flooding from the heart space. And as you exhale, keeping that same balance, 6-6 exhalation, but the navel pulls back to the spine. And see this time the whole body becoming more and more flooded with this light. Every single cell and fiber, every atom of your body being drenched and really flooded with this beautiful light from your heart. Just here for a little bit longer. Just taking another 2 or 3 more rounds in your own time. Inhale the light, exhale, flood the light. After this next exhale, just release the focus of meditation and your breath, and allow your breath to return to its natural pace, natural rhythm. Just feel into the effects of the breath, the meditation, maybe seeing yourself more vibrant, more fully connected, more alive. This deep sense of contentment. deep sense of inner joy, inner peace, inner radiance. The true light of your own soul, your own essence shining forth from your heart. It's always there, just connecting deeper into the light in your heart, the true essence of all that you are. And just bringing hands gently into Anjali Mudra, resting the thumbs onto the heart space, connecting with your breath once again in the heart center. And as you exhale, gently bow your head down in gratitude and reverence to your amazing body, to your soul and the true light of all that you are, to the practice of yoga, and to each other. May you really fully connect with the light of all that you are, and may you have the courage to shine that forth into the world. May that bring you so much joy, so much peace, and so much illumination and progression in your life. Namaste.